Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. This weekend was quite not crazy, but things happened that I didn't know could happen. The algorithm of YouTube deemed one of my videos not monetizable and yeah, demonetized it. The docking trouble video got demonetized. It's back to normal now for some reason. I don't know why, but on Wednesday after posting it, everything was all right. It started out completely normal, and then when I did the Friday video and set that up, I saw that it was demonetized. And I talked about that, and some other space engineers YouTubers had the same problem, it seems. I talked to Epictetus about that. He said that because I assumed it is, don't know, trouble or something that ticked off the the algorithm. Epictetus said he had a lot of videos, not a lot, but he also had videos that were called something with trouble, and I'm pretty sure it's not the word trouble, but there was no other thing that that it could be a kind of, because yeah, the trouble, the title was the only difference to other videos, and so yeah, I had to assume that it must have to do with the title of the video. Good, let me do this. Come on. And now it's back to normal. Today it was back to normal. I'm not sure why that's the case, because again, there was no way I could have done anything. As far as I know, I saw that I could send it into basically manual review, but to manually review something, you need at least 1,000 views in 7 days. And let's say it that way, I'm not that big that my videos can gather 1,000 views in 7 days. So yeah, there was no way that this would have happened. And yeah, I thought, yeah, then I will have to live with it being demonetized. But again, it seems that YouTube was so nice to just bring it back at one point. Good. This is absolutely not perfect here. Good, but I will. This is for a test I'm trying to do. So we talked about that in the last episode, that I want to set up a system that basically shows me on, don't know, on lights or something like that, the status of these sensors. And I'm trying to basically make now a marker that these sensors can detect. And when they do, okay, let me count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's problematic. It's not perfect. It is not perfect. We will never get this thing straight in there. Yeah, I did some tests with the auto docking again. Strabish basically had some more things to say about how to auto dock the Empress. And what I tried was to go and basically lower the ship in from up there and then tell it to go downwards. Fun part is that worked for a while. So I brought it from basically there to this path in a relatively straight line. I started from there so it could go in there in a straight line. And then I told it to the autopilot to basically go to the dock GPS point, but go to it by going down. You can set up the autopilot in a way where it favors basically a certain direction. That's one thing I did wrong. I told it to go forward to this point. So the Empress basically pitched down and was in that point, then in a forward direction, flew towards that basically. If you go down, it goes from here and just goes downward to this point. And that worked out, and I was pretty happy that it did. And then it reached this point and didn't stop there. It started to roll again onto its side, and I don't know why it does that. Strabish says you basically need to go straight towards the docking, towards the connectors. I can understand that, but the part is just that this rolling, I don't know why it should do that. It reached this point and then it just rolled in that point. Although I went downward, it shouldn't have done that. I turned off collision. Rabenschild again mentioned that too and said don't turn on the collision avoidance. It is completely turned off. The only thing that I have turned on is the precise mode. I think I need that because otherwise it will just go close to that point and then stay there. It was kind of perfect, but again it started to roll. That was not a thing I wanted to have. I thought that maybe if I use more path points, basically, if I, for example, have a path point a bit higher and maybe a bit diagonal to this point, where I can just tell it to go downwards towards this one. It maybe goes straight down to that point, stays where it is. And I wanted to have some points back there where I could have the ship basically fly into a certain position. Because if you just tell it to go to this point now, from anywhere here, it will go forward into that point and then stay that way. And we need to force basically we would need to force the Empress into a certain orientation, and this didn't work. So I will have to make more observations when it comes to that, because I can't say why it just rolls. Strabish says if you go downwards with the ship, you also need to have the docking ports on the connectors on the bottom, but the orientation of the connectors didn't mean anything, because if the ship goes downwards and then just starts to roll, that doesn't help too. So Not sure what this is. Good. What I want to do here is, again, I want to have a system that I can use to position certain 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 things. So let us start that again. These sensors I want to use to detect things that are here, there, and here, and basically get the whole ship into a certain position with that. So I can just take a look at these lights instead of having to constantly rotate around the ship and see if it fits now. So because if I do this, I should get the distance from this object then by backing up into it, and then it should at one point just light up, for example, the middle. If I connect this sensor to this light, it should light up the... Let me do something. I'm done with all the points here. So it should light up, this sensor should light up this. This light, yeah. And then I can basically stop it and then just rotate the ship or bring it up and down so that it then detects basically with these side sensors, and I will connect them to these sides, if it's in the right orientation on the axis. So if I have it rolled into the right position, so if both of these lights light up, then I have it in a certain, again, in a certain orientation. And maybe I will put in a fourth sensor down here so that I can see if the ship basically has is straight in there. That's also a thing, because I could maybe have it that the ship is just not straight enough in its docking area here. This here is not beautiful. I know that, and I will absolutely address that, but I want to first just know if the concept is viable and if we can set it up in a certain way that it works beautifully. Let me do this. Okay, now as points of interest for these things, or as things that it sensors, I want to again use the new blocks that I have there. Where is it? Where are my... There. I want to use these blocks and have it basically search for small blocks and then search for sub-assemblies, because these are not only small blocks then, these are also sub-assemblies. So what I can do now is just put some, maybe a cross shape of... Oh, that doesn't work. Hello? Why don't you work? Oh, I need steel plate. That's a thing I should have. Let me grab some steel plates. Okay, this steel plates. What's the time? Because I want to see that this hopefully works pretty fast. That would be neat. Okay, steel plates. 4. I want to just make a cross shape on here so that the area it detects is not too small. If I just have to detect one block, That might just be too small, and I'm not sure how the Space Master reacts to that. That's a funny thing. The Space Master detects, come on, detects these small things here, and if he decides that this is not not a thing he wants to keep, then it certainly deletes that stuff whenever I'm doing trash removal. Good. Or it could. Let us say it that way. It could delete these. Okay. Now, set up the sensors. One thing I always wanted to know is, can I make it show all players invulnerable? No. Entity list? No. Space Master. Can I set it up so that it shows me the... Isn't there a way to have it show me certain... What is this now? Player control. Okay. Isn't there a way to show me the... Basically what I want to see is if I can get to see sensor ranges. That's one thing I would like to see. Wasn't there something like that? Yes. Sensor fields of field range. Nice. Okay. This one. We make it small, small, small. And then bottom. Okay, we want to have a front extent of, let's go for 20. Do I need to sit in the ship or something like that so that it shows me the sensor extent? Sensor field range, show antenna range, show distance. Okay, that's then let's grab a seat. Maybe piloted flights. Oh, okay, that's one of the... Can I do that with a seat? Or do I need to... How can I see the sensor ranges? Does anybody of you know? It should show up, or do it need to see it on? It's in the terminal. Show on HUD, something like that. Ah, yes, very good. That's what I needed to see. 20 is too much, so let's go for 15. Still too much. Or does it need to update first? Nope, 15 is still too much. Let's go for 10. And then I will set up the others just so that I can have these. Yeah, this is perfect. This in a I want this range here to be relatively precisely on there, so that okay, now I don't know the lights. I will have to take a look at the lights in a second. So what I want to see is, I don't want to detect players, I want to detect small ship and subgrids. Now this should work. Detect owner, detect friendly, Yeah, detect neutral, detect enemy, that can be turned off. And as setup actions, so I need to get rid of these again, because I think I have all the other lights hidden. Where? Yes, see that? So this is parking middle. I know that my names are not really precise, but that's what I need. So setup action. I want you to turn on parking middle, and you can toggle block on, and parking middle toggle block off. So if it comes into range now, it should turn on the light, and I think that's turned on. I will change the color in a second, because this is just not really visible. So when it comes into contact with this, it should turn on this light now. And I will set up this for all the other sensors here too. And then we should have a nice, basically visible cue on the back here that we can, don't know, we can do that in somewhere in the ship too, something like that, somewhere in the cockpit, so we could even see it from the first person. But it doesn't really matter if I can see it from third person out here. That would just work perfectly. I need to remove the seat again. And let me set the other ones up. So I will give this maybe a red color. So this will be just red. The radius doesn't need to be too crazy. Intensity, maybe. Yeah, we need to. I definitely need to see if this works. Okay. I will set up the others then. Good. This should be set up now. We will test that, and I will just do it from here. Just take control of the Empress, disconnect her, and then fly away. See that? See that? The lights are off now. So, one thing I need to do is check if the docking arms pulled back. No, they didn't. So, oh, they do. That's good. That's good. So what I could do now is, and I think I will do that here too. Could I? To be able to, oh, okay. To be able to drive backwards and forwards. I will do that, by the way, from here. Then I don't have all the lights on there. I need to take a look at the side lamps, basically. So, if I come in here, now I'm a bit off the middle path. I need to take a look at the left lamp. It turned on now. So, if I now go and set it up there. Where is it? Did I do everything right? Come on, lights, turn on. Ah, why isn't that working? Now it should be turned on, everything. Why are the lights off? Can it not detect the small blocks? But it should detect the subgrids anyways. So why doesn't it do that? And it detected them before. So if I, the thing is, if I, I know why it doesn't detect the subgrids. The subgrids it can only detect when it is anchored. And maybe it doesn't see these as small blocks. So what if I go and say station? That's too bad. I wanted to do it with the small blocks because the small blocks are definitely different. Yeah, it's station. So the small blocks are definitely different from the station blocks. That's too bad. So I can detect the station blocks, but I can't detect the small blocks on there. Not nice. But that should, setting it up like this should fix it. And then we just make it so that only one block or so reaches into the whole thing. So, okay. Problem now is that it definitely detects more than we really want it to detect. Okay, if I go. Okay, now it is off. I go back now. Now the red one is on 2. And now the docking bridge should... Yes! Yes! See that? That's perfect. That's how I want it. Now, is it aligned? Not too crazy, but if I just go a bit forward, then it should be aligned perfectly. So, oh no, it's still not perfectly aligned. Ah, this is... Now it is perfectly aligned. So the big problem now is that with having to detect station blocks, we need to remove most of these blocks out of the sensor range. So make this whole thing here even bigger and do something with this sensor. This one is not too problematic. There's the same thing. So let me turn on the showing it on hub again, so I can see where to the sensors reach. I might have to really tweak what they are detecting. Okay. And I also need to tweak this here. So the whole docking arms. This all needs this all needs really a bit more love and setting up. No, don't roll. Rolling, not good. So I want to have it pretty straight in there. So that works out, and then the height is not a problem. So the height of the Empress. That's what I'm talking about basically. If this aligns, then that works out. Okay, we can bring it up a bit. Take control, just go up. And then maybe not pitch a bit, just a bit. Okay, this will be basically the final position that we bring it in, and I will remove the small blocks there, and then okay, perfect. Perfect. So I will have to move some of the blocks. I want to have it align with the station a bit better. That would be nice. So the docking arms are extended in that position, so I will not have to worry about the sensor. The sensor seems to be good. I can also, and that's one thing I now realize, I can do the same here and just see where it still detects. That works out. So I can bring the docking arms a bit more out. That's what I want to do. And then also remove these and bring in normal station blocks, and then maybe bring out the sensor ranges of these sensors a meter or so. This one needs to go out a meter or so too, although the bottom one is detecting, but these are not detecting at the moment. Okay, let me do this and this, then also this. This is not needed anymore, although again that would have been nice, because then I could have just worked with small blocks here. If I remove this, it might be that it also loses contact, and I will have to... How long am I recording now? Today again is not a long recording day, but I wanted to at least give you a bit of content. Got new medication, and this stuff is at the moment hurting. I have to get... Oh, did I... Oh, I stacked two. That's okay. I really have to get used to that stuff now. The side effects are at the moment still brutal. Oh, it's... This really works. Ooh, not good. Give me a block. And again, I need to move the blocks in a way where it really can only detect this one. Okay, now it detects everything except the bottom one. Pick up that stuff, and then I can... If it then detects, then I have at least a good position. It seems that this... The position, I need to position it a bit better. Empress, take control. Okay. Nope, that was wrong. Bring it back. How well does it align? And again, the rest of the alignment will be done with the connectors. I want to maybe make them a bit stronger so that the Empress then just gets pulled into position. Okay, let us add one block here and one block here. Now everything should be lined up. This is a good alignment now. And with that I can hopefully live. So I will make a meter 16 and on the other side too. Then we have a bit of wiggle room. That's okay. If everything lights up now, I'm happy, and I can test more in the meantime. Everything lights up. That's good to see. With that, I can test now how I want to position it all. I could even make the whole thing here, the whole assembly. I could even make it smaller, and then just have an arm sticking out where this thing aligns to. We have the concept standing. That's basically what I wanted to have. Good. People, I think that's all for today. I'm recording for longer than I wanted to record, and you saw what the concept is. You have now an idea what I'm thinking about, and if you have any ideas for that, again, Jonathan Cambron, I think, talked about that, and that was a good idea. I hope I'm not crediting someone. I think I'm right. Everything's fine, but one of the viewers had an idea to do something like this, and now, yeah, this works out. Okay, this range is good. I want to have it just really, really close to it, and I will have to address that here too. Maybe bring it down just a tidbit, and there too. Good people, but that's all for today. I hope you liked this concept. If you did, then please leave a like on the video. Give me your ideas for that. Take a look at the description. There's all the links to Twitter, to my Patreon, to my mod collection, or the collection of the mods I'm using in the game. And again, I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya, guys.